going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Kevin Jackwitz. This is the Kaged match, and this is my review for AEW Dark for 2/18/20 yesterday. So, 4 matches, 4 pretty good matches, some better than others, obviously. You start out with Diamante versus Chris Statlander, and this was actually a really good match. I really liked it. I think Chris Statlander is very athletic, and she showed it off here. Very strong. And the only problem I had with the match is they got this wet willy gimmick that Chris Statlander does, and the Diamante reaction was just dumb. The whole thing was stupid. If they would have left that dumb shit out of the match, honestly, it was a really good match. It really was. I liked it. At the end of the day, Chris Statlander, she got the win. No problems at all with that. Then you get Jack Evans and Angelico versus Trent and Chuck Taylor. Of course, they got Orange Cassidy out there. So, another very good match. Another match with some really good spots. I do like what they do with Orange Cassidy. I just was talking about how Chris Statlander has the wet willy gimmick and it's just dumb. Comedy is subjective, I get that, but I really like what they do with Orange Cassidy. I think he does bring some humor to a match. And so here, one of the hybrid two, I forget which one, takes out Orange Cassidy on the outside. Later on in the match, one of the hybrid two is up on the top rope, and then Orange Cassidy comes up and he does his incredibly slow light punches that don't do anything. And the crowd, of course, responds in kind. And then I think it was Jack Evans who was on the top rope, and Angelico goes to kick Orange Cassidy off the apron, and Orange Cassidy dodges. Angelico hits the top rope, knocks Jack Evans crotch first onto the top rope. So at the end of the day, Trent and Chuck, they capitalize, they get the win. 4 super talented guys, really 5 super talented guys. What more can you say? Then you get Christy James, who I've never seen before. Like I said, they're trying out a lot of women for this AEW women's division, which they have to grow. They absolutely have to grow this women's division. They've got some talent compared to other organizations, not a lot. So, Big Swole versus Christy James. It was awkward at points. Christy James did a couple of things a little overly slow. You could tell like she was pulling. So you got to make it look a little better than she did. At the end of the day, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great, though. Big Swole gets the win, and there you are. And then you have QT Marshall and Peter Avalon with Leva Bates, of course, taking on the Young Bucks. And I thought this was kind of odd because QT Marshall has typically been a face. He's been a face since they brought him in. And now they're pitting him with Peter Avalon, who is obviously a heel. But they actually carried through that storyline throughout the match. There were times where Peter Avalon was trying to take shortcuts. QT Marshall would stop that. And it eventually led to Peter Avalon hitting QT Marshall. And so they had a big divide there on that team. Young Bucks were absolutely amazing throughout this match. What more can you say? They did have a couple of more dumb spots here with Peter Avalon. Just the whole gimmick, talking during the match, and just, I don't know. I'm not big into the librarian gimmick. I'm just not. But either way, it led to Young Bucks with the microphone actually kind of being funny as they're just kicking his ass and talking about how they do it. So I get that there was a point to it. At the end of the day, of course, the Young Bucks win. You knew they were going to. And that was AEW Dark. I actually really liked it. I felt like everything was solid. If not, okay. The one match was good and kind of leaning towards passable. That, of course, being Christy James and Big Swole. Other than that, though, it was a lot of really cool action. So, my take on AEW Dark, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I thought it was a pretty strong outing. It wasn't very long. It was like 40, 50 minutes. But at least 3 very good matches in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's my take on AEW Dark. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, hit the like button, subscribe, and share. My name is Kevin Jackwitz, Kaged Nation, out.